Hello viewers, you are watching International Wild. Kindly subscribe our channel and press the bell icon to get notification of the latest uploaded videos. Now, after a month of speculation about his disappearance from public view, China has removed its newly appointed Foreign Minister Qingdong and replaced him with his predecessor Wangi as a close associate of President-elect Jinpin. Mr. Qin was promoted rather quickly, but his removal without an official explanation continues to fuel speculations over what happened. This is of course absolutely massive news in China, and yet in typical fashion it came in such a muted way, with just a few sentences read out on the evening television news bulletin that the foreign minister Qingang was to be removed from his post and replaced by the Communist Party's senior foreign affairs official. 1 year, someone who's done the job before for the Chinese people. That's all they get, and I suppose it's just for them to accept it. That's the idea. The government's made a decision. That's your foreign minister, he's gone. No more explanation why. The interesting thing though is how somebody who was seen as being so close to Xi Jinping, who was appointed by Xi Jinping only half a year ago, could have so quickly been removed from this post. And because of the opaque nature of governance here, all manner of questions are being asked about this. I mean, he disappeared and sort of what wasn't funding up through his normal duties about a month ago, and the official explanation was, it's because of health reasons. But as the weeks went on and he wasn't reappearing, well, people started speculating maybe this is some sort of political punishment for him, and then online the rumors started spreading about him having had an affair with a television presenter, and that she also had disappeared. Now of course it could be a combination of those two things as well. For example, his enemies in the party could be using an affair like this, an extramarital affair, to get him, because although this is not against the law in China, it could be construed to be against internal party discipline regulations, and so maybe someone who has a different view of him, maybe someone who thinks he's not wolf warrior enough, not going out there hard enough, maybe it's just rivalry, who knows, and that they've used this affair to get him. Either way, here, we are still guessing with no further information, and even if it is something to do with his health, none of these options are good. Either way, this, it looks like we may never see Qingang in public life again, and if you look at the Foreign Ministry's website, his name is already being scrubbed from the records. It's more clearly, he ran into some political difficulty, and if you just got ill, then there would have been a forthright explanation of that. Instead, there was a very terse one-sentence statement saying that he'd been removed from office. The extramarital affair could be believed, it could be true of course, but that security officials would have known about this for a long time. I don't think at that level in Chinese politics that there are too many secrets, so there must have been some other trigger that happened in the past couple of months that caused him to fall out of favor, and that's really the interesting thing. He's been replaced by Wangi, who's kind of retired, who's returning from his semi-retirement. Again, a lot of rumors about how the two men may not have got on, but is this about political infighting, which could show their problems at the top with how China runs things? It's possible that they didn't get along, or the knives were out for Qingang, because he had been promoted very quickly. He was relatively young for his position and it wasn't exactly helicoptered up to the highest levels, but he was a pretty fast rise. Clearly he was Jinping's person. The bigger issue is that it's another one of a string of very public problems that Xi Jinping has faced over the past 12 months and the first decade or so that he was in power. From his perspective, at least, things went very smoothly, but like many leaders around the world, after he'd been in power for a while, problems seem to accumulate, and these are problems that aren't sort of behind the scenes. These are very public things, such as the handling of the ending of COVID restrictions, and in qingdong, and the economy. These are things all Chinese people can see and understand that there's something going on. It would be like they will appoint another foreign minister. Wangi has held the position before. He's clearly a fireman or a caretaker who's been sent in to right the ship to keep Chinese foreign policy going smoothly, and he'll do that because he's very capable official. It would imagine perhaps by next spring at the National People's Congress that usually takes place in early March, there'll probably be a new foreign minister. That will give them time to vet everyone perhaps a little more carefully, to go through normal procedures and get somebody else in charge, and that will allow Wangi to go back to his more senior position that he had held in the Communist Party, coordinating foreign policy.